It was worth it, I think. Best ex-husband I'll ever ask for.
I've been married twice. I'm never doing it again.
Oh yeah, why not?
One was a bitter divorce. The other ended in being widowed. So, you find your person. You lose your person. Not really inclined to go through all that again.
I feel like marriage is kind of like an addiction for some people.
Yeah, not me. Kind of over the whole relationship thing.
Yeah, I get that. I've uh I've had my fair share of relationships, but none of them have been particularly serious. I'm not interested in marriage. Do you know why I want to talk to you?
I have my guesses.
I want to go ahead and preface this by saying I don't know what I don't know. I have a very incomplete picture of some shit that went down this past week, and I am looking for a better picture. What I was what I was told, and I'm going to go ahead and say this. I'm never going to pass judgment on somebody when I don't have the full story, and I don't even really think there is having a quote unquote full story. I have what someone was told uh basically fourth hand at this point. Someone told someone who told someone who told me. But what that something was is that Mason asked you some questions about some people, and you went right back to them and basically said that he was prying into their business.
That's not how what I said to said individual was said. I know who I said it to. And I found out bits and pieces, but that was never my intention for any of that to happen.
I'm so sorry. I'm content. Oh, I gotta take it. Hello. No, absolutely not. Sorry. Never speaking to that guy on the phone again.
I realized probably after I said it that I shouldn't have said it to the person I said it to. I'm not exactly used to having friends who aren't civilians. I'm not
Yeah.
used to having friends who what I say and how I say it needs to be done very delicately. It's 5 years ago. Uh, really, the only people I hung out with were EMS.
Hmm.
EMS and cops. That was about it.
I get it. I'm a person who is hyper aware of who I'm talking to and what I'm saying. And sometimes I can't help myself. I think everyone sometimes says too much or the wrong thing, or you forget who you're talking to for a second. I try and be diligent, but shit happens. I guess the reason I wanted to talk to you is because you apologized to Mason. And obviously, apologizing indicates that you did something wrong. or that you at least feel bad about something that you did. So I guess I'm just curious as to why.
Like I said, I don't have the full picture on what happened, but someone probably said a little too much to me. And I can put enough pieces together to know that what I said had a role in it. And it's hard not to feel like shit about that. Especially not when I do enjoy spending time with Mason. I was enjoying getting to know him.
Are you having any doubts
About,
being close to people who you have to measure every single thing that you say?
I wouldn't say I'm having doubts. I'd say I'm on a learning curve.
Okay.
Because there's people who I've been back who have been reaching out to me, you know, wanting to hang out, wanting to talk, that 5 years ago, like I was friendly with, but wouldn't say I was friends with. And if anything, I don't know. I've always been a very just keep my head down kind of person. Don't like getting involved in things I have no business getting involved in. Well, unfortunately, sometimes I have a tendency to trip into those kinds of things inadvertently. Whether it's saying the wrong thing to the wrong person or just being reckless in general.
Well, just so you know, they threw your name out there like it was nothing. I'm not saying that the people who named you specifically wouldn't protect you or don't care about you.
I mean, they have no reason to care about me.
I don't think that's true. I think they're smart enough to know that if they're gonna name you directly as being partially responsible for why they did what they did, they're gonna stand up for you. No?
I don't know.
I would want to know.
I don't think they have any reason to protect me. I don't think they have any reason to care.
You don't think so?
No,
You're close with some of them, though.
only one.
Finn?
Yeah, it's one of my medics.
Finn's a good guy.
He is.
I know that Mason likes you. He spoke really highly of you. I don't know. What do you want? You want to be friends with him? Or spend time with him?
Yeah.
Do you actually want that?
Like I said, I was enjoying myself. Maybe I was getting a little worried. Because things were getting a little too comfortable for my liking. But I also wouldn't blame him for if he wanted to tell me to go fuck myself.
Mason wants to do what he thinks is best for the club.
And if that's telling me to go fuck myself, I still wouldn't blame him.
That's why I'm talking to you. I don't think he knows. I don't think he really knows what happened. And I'll be honest, when feelings get involved, I think it makes it hard to make that kind of call on whether or not somebody is good for you and by extension, good for your friends. Because he really likes you. So I think that if it were left to him to have a conversation with you, he'd pretty easily forgive what had happened. And I guess my fear is that it would happen again. Are you a trustworthy person?
I'd like to think so. It's kind of part and parcel with the job because you hear shit and you have to ignore shit. Because if you don't, and unfortunately some of my medics learn this the hard way, you end up with a bullet in your skull.
Did you tell anyone you were coming down here to talk to me?
No?
Did you think about it?
No. It's one of the things my friends hate about me is I don't tell them shit. If I'm going to meet with someone, I tend to just go.
I'm going to tell you something. For most clubs, you are in or you're out. You're one of them or you're not. And the way that entire situation read, I know you don't know specifics, but the way that that situation read to me was that at least to some extent, they're testing the waters with you. I know a little bit about how Finn's club is organized. And if he feels like you're going to be telling him things about members in other clubs, they'll want to snatch you up. And even if you're never part of the club, right? officially. There's no halvesies. You're in or you're out. You're with them or you're not. I think it's just something to think about. I'm not trying to pass judgment on that. I feel the exact same way. When it comes to us, our people, our relationships, you're in or you're out. I don't say jack shit anything about my business or my club to anyone that I don't 110% trust. Mason's a good kid. I've known him since he was a baby. I don't think at the time that he was asking you questions or said whatever he said that he thought he was explicitly putting trust into you. And I'll be honest, I don't think that you were knowingly sharing information that would hurt him or fuel a narrative that you weren't aware of. But it happened the way that it happened. And those things did happen. He did put trust in you. You did share that information with somebody. It was twisted and given back to us in a dishonest way. But it all still happened the way it happened. And I think that you're kind of at a crossroads here with the relationships that you care about and the things that you want to pursue. And I know that that sucks. I don't know. I just think it's something to be aware of. I'm never going to tell Mason who to hang out with or who not to hang out with. If he likes you and he wants to spend time with you, he's more than welcome to do so. I just want you to be aware that when you talk to people, the things that you say will be used against, not you. I'm sure sometimes used against you, but more often they'll be used against the enemies of your friends.
Understood.
Just to clarify, I'm not upset. Just protective of my club. And everything that Mason has said about you has been wonderful. I just want to know that if he's spending time with you, that you're aware of what repeating the things he says to you could do to him. No matter how innocently repeated.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not gonna blame him if he just wants to cut me out of his life entirely.
I don't think he does. Like you said, you're new to having friends who you have to watch what you say around them. You get used to it faster than you'd like to admit. I think I have maybe 2, 3 people that I know that I can say anything around.
that.
Everyone deserves that person.
There's always something I have to keep from someone.
Why do you think so?
I don't think I've ever fully trusted anyone in this godforsaken city. And the one person I did trust with my whole life died on a hill after being shoved out of a fucking helicopter. Because even though he was a cop, if I told him not to pursue something after I said something, drop it, even if it meant I was in danger.
Yeah, that's too bad.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. And what it is too bad. Despite how it seems, there are people who are worthy of trust. Probably more than one. Not everyone is out to get you or is only pushing their own agenda. I know myself pretty well. I am far from a perfect person. I'm even further from a good person. But I know I'm a damn good friend. You just gotta find your people. If you like Mason, you want to spend more time with them, you should spend more time with all of us.
Think about it.
Yeah, there's no pressure. You won't hurt my feelings. I know I'm biased, obviously. But I love my crew. And I think I have a real big soft spot for people who feel like they don't belong anywhere.
Came back thinking I knew what I wanted. Really, I only came back because there's no one else who can step up and do the job that I do.
Mm.
But the more I think about it, the more I know that it's not where I'm gonna stay forever. Things change, people change.
I wish people didn't change sometimes.
It's an unfortunate part of life. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse.
I've been in a position more than once where somebody changed, probably for the better, but for the worse for me. I always feel like that's a real kick in the gut. Like, yeah, good for you. What about me, though? What about my friend?
Honestly, friend breakups usually hurt a lot worse than romantic ones.
That is very true. Anyway, I don't want to keep you. I really appreciate you coming down here to talk to me. And, like I said, I trust Mason. I trust that if he wants to spend time with you, then it's in his own best interest and it's in the best interest of his friends. And I know how things went down and how things were portrayed to me weren't, it didn't look great for you. But you're more than welcome to come hang out with us whenever you want. You can take that.
Oh. Hello?
Hello, are you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I just had to go take care of something.
Okay, well, Angela is struggling to get here. So I was wondering if you wanted to, come and talk with us now, and then we'll just, pass on our notes to Angela after.
Yeah, get started without me.
Okay.
I'll be there as soon as I can.
All right, cool. I did also have to talk to you about something, but I'll do it when you're here. It's
Alright.
something me and you were talking about like years ago.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Alright, bye.
Right, bye.
I got them. I got the pictures. Okay, who's the first last picture?
Hi guys. Late night stream, huh?
What are you selling me?
So yeah, Veronica didn't tell anyone this is where she was coming. She just said she had to go take care of something. She's supposed to be at an FTI meeting right now,
Sure, I'll buy a chair.
but was like, all right, I gotta go take care of this.
Okay, I'm gonna call you in a minute, and if I need to find a refill for the chair. Okay, cool. Jesus Christ. People are so fucking weird. I
Yeah.
don't understand. This girl fucking calls me. She's like, would you like to buy a chair? I said, okay, how much? Just $5.50. But I was told that you'd be interested in potentially a chair or ass sweat. I said, ass sweat? And she's like, yeah, like sweat from an ass. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, well, the chair is $5.50 without any ass sweat, and it's $600 with ass sweat on the chair.
Jesus.
I said, can I see the asses? And she goes, well, I can get any ass pretty much you want. And then she starts naming me a bunch of other prices, like $800 and like $750 and like $1,000. And I'm like, what are we talking about here? So then I'm like, well, send me a picture of the asses and the chairs. She sends me a picture of two people's asses, but it's like barely the ass. It's mostly just the back with like a little bit of ass in it. And it's just somebody wearing like schlubby pants and somebody wearing like shorts. And I was like, well, who are they? I was like, who are they? She's like, well, they're just people. And I was like, okay, great. I'll take a chair with no ass sweat then, I guess.
People
For
are just
$550 fucking dollars. One
so
chair.
desperate to sell furniture, I guess.
Seriously, it's so expensive too. I don't want to fucking pay $550 for a chair, but now I'm fucking cornered into it.
I don't even have space for a chair.
I don't know where I would put it, but I'm gonna buy it. Because I'm interested. Now I want to meet this person. I want to see their wares. Their chair wares.
I just want to get a better bed.
Oh god, a better bed would be so fucking nice.
The one I have now, I technically got for free.
Yeah?
One of my friends gave it to me.
Nice.
But it's just a gross mattress on the floor, so...
Ew. Okay. Yeah, you need a better one. Okay. Well, you be safe and save my number, okay?
Yep. Now
Yeah,
I get to
I'll
go
see you
deal with
later.
headaches at the hospital.
Have fun.
Gonna punch someone in the
best
fucking
time.
face.
Who's the beautiful woman? What are you talking about? Her?
Hello.
Veronica.
Well, that went well? Question mark? Hi. Hello. So yeah, Veronica didn't tell anyone. I'm gonna pull off up here just so quickly. So I gotta grab shit out of the glove box. Shoo. She also put any weapons up in her glove box. But she didn't tell anyone, and Veronica never tells people when she's going to meet up with somebody. Like, ever. I was talking about this the other day. In 3.0, she would get yelled at a lot when people would find out after the fact that she met up with someone that perhaps she shouldn't have been meeting up with. 2 times it was Brett Maxwell. Who else was there? There was another one where people got very upset with her for doing it without telling them. I forget who. But there was definitely another one where people just got so upset. Oh god, what is Finn posting? What the actual fuck? I hate it. Hold on. Let's call Charlotte and just let her know we're on our way.
Rooftop.
Alright, I'll be there soon. I'm on Great Ocean.
Cool, cool.
Yep, alright, bye.
Bye.
We're also gonna stop at a clothing store to change back into our P&T stuff. I guess we'll stream the FTI meeting that we are late for now. I told them to start without me. It's fine, but then Charlotte has to talk to Veronica about something and it's never ending. I wish I had been streaming right after Storm though, because Veronica had a breakdown. Veronica had a fucking breakdown in the parking lot with Charlotte over how stressed she is. And another thing, she wasn't lying to Lane when she said that she feels like she doesn't have anyone she can fully trust. Like, does she trust Kiki with most things? Yes. But there's things that she can't talk to Kiki about. Case in point. What? Fuck, I wanted to take this turn. Case in point, the conversation she just had. V's not gonna tell Kiki about that. And why would she? Right? She's learned her lesson. She's not gonna say shit to Benny or Finn. Because she felt awful once she learned what came from it. And now she learns for sure that her name was put out there, so she's feeling some kind of way about that. Because in her mind, it's, wow, like, that's, that for her is kind of like a, okay. And after she talked with Benny, ow, wait. Sorry. After she talked with Benny the other night, she was kind of just like feeling some kind of way. I don't know how I would categorize it or put it, like put how she is feeling, but I'm not in the right spot. There we go. EMS PT. And sad girl walk. Where's my sad walk? Because the casual walk is too masculine for heels. No cops, illegal U-turn. But thank you guys for the follows. And this is not when I usually stream. I'm usually strictly between like 4 p.m. Eastern and midnight. Because I have to go to bed at midnight during the week. Which is also why I lost my train of thought. I lost my train of thought because it's so late and I have been up since 6 o'clock. Low. We're just gonna run the fucking red because I think I missed the green. Oh, there's a cop car there. We're just not gonna do that because I don't know if there's anyone in it. And I do not want V getting her first ticket of 4.0 yet. I don't want it to be something stupid like a red light. I want her to get like first degree speeding or something like that. She's gonna get a traffic ticket. Might as well be something like first degree speeding. Or jaywalking. Jaywalking is the funnier option because she will cry if she gets a jaywalking ticket. And make the officer feel horrible. Like, I have her jaywalk sometimes in the hopes that she'll get a ticket for it so that she can cry and say, how could you give me a jaywalking ticket? Especially if it's a cop that was around in 3.0. Because that was like a big thing that she would always jaywalk and EMS would call it in so Harvey would come down to the fire station and see her. So I decided that whenever she gets her first jaywalking ticket, she's gonna cry and make the officer feel bad about giving her a jaywalking ticket because I think it'd be funny. But I don't know if it'd be funnier if it's a cop who didn't know Harvey or if it's a cop that did know Harvey. It's like nothing ever happened. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it.
A lot of the times when the mood is low, the trainees are going to pick up on that, and that's going to affect them too. So
Yeah.
we don't just have to, train people to do things. It's our attitudes and our approach because we are going to be the people they look up to, right?
Well, that's what I mean. It's
When
like make it a vibe. Like,
Yep.
it's creating an environment for them to know that they can actually come to you. Whereas if you put someone and they come across as like uninterested, or like if I was a trainee and my FTO wasn't interested in actually like talking to me and everything was just, oh, this is what we do, this is how it is, you know what I mean? And I was like, man, fuck that
It's terrifying
FTO,
to
you
take
know what I mean?
screenshots
FTO
saying
is
that
boring as
because
hell,
I
they ain't
didn't
gonna
want
help me,
Veronica
you
to
know what I mean?
accidentally
Like,
punch.
I need someone that's gonna communicate and not get into chaos, but be like, look, don't be a drone in the beehive, you know what I mean? Like, don't be afraid to be you at the same time, you know what I mean? As long as you're like not doing dumb shit and you're respecting the people, then you're fine, you know? Like, don't be scared to have ideas and to ask those ideas, right? Like when I said about pushing Emily forward, is Emily would come up with ideas or ways of treating people that I've not seen other trainees do. You
So
know what I mean? And I'm like, I love
actually,
that shit.
Emily is one of the people that really made me realize how important we are. Is
Yeah.
Emily told me straight up she wants to be an FTO, and she's a trainee, but we gotta sit there and support her choices. Like if she wants to be an
Yeah.
FTO, we build her to be an FTO. We tell her what she
Exactly.
needs to do because one day she probably will be a good FTO.
That's
But
what I
that's
mean,
on
right?
us to sort of like push people to do that. Give them goals. Don't be like PD and say
Yeah.
they've got no dreams. Let them
Like
have
if
dreams.
they have ideas and things that they want to do, whether it might be
I
departments
think
they want to go work in and stuff like that, then we should be
Veronica's gonna be a lot
guiding
more
them into
careful with
that and
what she
helping them
says
work towards that. You
going
know what I
forward
mean?
because
Like,
it's one of those things
if they make the cut or not, that's one thing. But at
where
least
she
we
really didn't
didn't
think
try,
about
or at
who she
least
was
they
talking
didn't
to.
try. I'd rather see someone try and maybe
And it wasn't,
fail than someone
for
just
context,
give
it wasn't
up
Finn
and
that
not
she
try
said
at
something
all.
to, it
And
was
then that's
Benny.
when everybody gets burnt out. You know what I mean?
And she was thinking
Exactly.
of
And I think
Benny,
one of the
my
biggest
friend,
issues
not
we had
Benny, the
before was
member of the ADMC.
people couldn't take criticism. So when you would
Mhm.
give them like feedback on what they did wrong or what they could change, they never used to like it because you'd leave it so long before you gave them that feedback that it actually didn't make sense. It's like spraying a cat like 10 minutes after it
Yeah.
does something wrong. Like you don't do that. You tell it off in the moment.
That's
We had
yeah, exactly.
FTOs that would mess up, and we had FTOs that, you know, we'd always say, "Oh, we'll talk to them. Oh, we'll talk to them. You know, we'll handle that." Then we forget to handle it, and then you come back to them in like 2 weeks after they've done it, and they're clueless of what they've done wrong.
Yeah.
But it's because we messed up.
Yes,
That's what I
I
mean,
definitely
if-
I want to stop. I want to do better about that. Of kind of I don't know the right wording. Just I don't know the right wording for it, but just taking care of those things as they happen.
You can't let
much
things
quicker.
linger.
Yeah,
is
you
what
can't
Mhm.
let it
you're
linger.
saying,
Just kind of
yeah.
like I guess nip it. I don't know what.
So
This
here's
word.
here's the step I always took was I'll approach the conversation face to face. If I don't think that conversation went well, I'm gonna go to command. But what I actually do anyway, well, what I want you guys to do, because before like command were P&T lead, if you have a conversation with a trainee about something you don't think's right and they don't have the best reaction, one, let other FTIs know. Also encourage FTOs to let us know. But then if you think it's an issue, then you bring it up to me. But I want that to be one of your guys' responsibilities. Like, you guys deal with trainees that are messing around. They're not listening. Because before it was really awkward. Like, we didn't really have a structure in how we wanted to deal with things like that because everybody wanted their 2 cents in it.
I mean, if we're being honest, that's why I did the shit that I did with Eric, because I'm like, look, if no other FTO has told you, that doesn't mean that I ain't gonna tell you to get into the proper uniform. I was like, you know what I mean? I was like, I want you in proper uniform because that's the rules. And I said, if you're working with me, that's how it is. And if you don't like that, or you feel like I'm being harsh, then take it up with someone higher than me.
Yep.
That's what I straight up told him. And he was like, nah, I respect you for telling me. And I was like, things you can't be afraid to tell someone, whether it's someone the same rank or someone, whether it's a trainee or someone. Like, if there's an issue, it has to be addressed, because
Yeah.
that's when all the problems come. That's when all the miscommunications come, and that's when all these ideas of, and this is what I was saying, right? This is when all these ideas of people thinking this shift is like this and this shift is like that comes from, because they look at it from the outside, you know what I mean, and not for what it is, you know? Whereas if people just communicated, 80% of problems that there might be currently wouldn't be an actual problem, you know what I mean?
I agree.
Hi, Tesla. You just
And
missed
if not, just throw
the
some
actual
dump 'em and then do
reason
it
for
again,
this
'cause they won't
stream.
remember.
No, sewer dump 'em.
Don't
I
do
like
that.
your sewer
Yeah,
dumping
yeah,
thing.
true.
Oh
Sewer
wait, are we
dumping is-
sewer
yeah.
dumping people now?
Yeah, I think
I
so.
got a crowbar, yeah. It's what I call a crowbar.
We were actually talking earlier. A few of us, actually, I think all of us sitting on this wall probably would want to explore the sewers and get the layout and like just explore it. So yeah, we can do that.
Lane texted
Cool.
B
Yeah.
asking to
Yeah.
talk, and they talked about the
So
Mason situation.
honestly, like I
It's
think
kind of spicy.
I just wanted to make sure we were all on the
because
same page and we could all talk,
at
by the
least
way.
as
And I
far
think
as, like,
honestly, like even if Angela was here, we'd be
insight
having
into
the same
Veronica,
conversation.
because
Happy to
Veronica
do it
Oh,
again with
Lane,
her.
she doesn't have anyone she
but,
trusts fully.
I don't know. I just feel like I've been doing the same with trainees, getting people together, getting people talking and stuff
Which
is
ties into a lot of what
key,
Veronica's been feeling
and
lately
it's
about
gonna
being
make
on the
people
outside
feel better
and
about
just
doing what they're
feeling
doing.
lonely.
Now, I could have had all the FDOs come up here too, but I didn't want that. If I wanted to have an FTO meeting, I would have said it was an FTO meeting.
That's what I said to you, right? It was
Wish
labeled
we
the way
had
it was because of...
FTI stuff because also like I would say like if we have more of these FTI meetings, having notes for it in the MDT, but I'm a little worried to do that
Because
No,
of
I
a
other
way
people,
to
yeah,
yeah.
restrict who can
there's
access it. But I do think we should have
Yeah,
an
all I know
official
is
P&T meeting.
V
at
said
some
something to
point.
Benny
Yeah.
and a
I mean,
shitstorm
meetings, I
kicked
should say,
off,
'cause, you know, different
and
shifts,
she
but
did not
I
intend
think
for
at some point
that
that'll be
to
good, especially when,
happen.
you know, we're gonna talk about
Because
the
she
diagnostics, which
didn't
people
really
already
think
did,
before
and
yeah. So
speaking.
that is going to
other
be one of the
things.
biggest things. And I know I said what my idea was, but now Veronica's here. It's the same thing I said to you after I took David out in a session. Like just give him a 3 day, like 3 days or 2 days where they straight up just use old methods, and then once they're comfortable doing normal medicine and actually communicating with patients, then you start moving on to diagnostics. But what I said is like maybe you let them look with the
Like, God,
diagnostics first,
Lane made
and
Veronica
then
feel
like if
even
someone's
worse
been
during that
stabbed, that you see all the broken
conversation
bones. Have them look at that. Don't have them deal with that. But like at the
by
end of
talking
them
about
treating
how
them the
much
way that we
Mason
used to,
likes her
then show
and
them what you
how
did,
highly
and you
he
show them
spoke of
that
her.
you fixed their
Veronica
bones.
was
You
like,
know,
God
in
fucking
a way like
damn it. God fucking
they'll
damn
understand
it.
like, hey, while you were doing that, you could have also been doing this.
Yep.
Don't sort of having it in a way where you're explaining and showing.
She made Veronica feel so much worse about the
I don't know.
situation.
I just think
I mean,
So
you're not wrong.
much
It's like
worse.
when I had a solo trainee in that, and we were talking about like the list of approved meds and stuff, right?
If you want to see.
And we were talking about like putting in an IV, and they came to me and they're like, David, how do you actually put in an IV? And I was like,
Oh,
let me
oh
teach you.
no.
And I said, come with me. And I went in and I grabbed my doctor and I was like, look, put
Veronica
something
said,
over my
you
arm
know,
and teach my
I
trainee
understand
how
you
to do an
just
IV.
tell me to go fuck myself.
And then just sat there for like 5 minutes doing it. But it was nice because it also built the relationship with that doctor, right? And this is what I was saying, that I tell trainees and stuff, and like the biggest thing I tell them, I was like, if we're bringing them in, communicate with the doctors. Don't be scared to be like, hey, we have a critical here. If someone's dying and they're critical, let them know. You know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
the other day I had to yell in the ER, hey, Kiki's unconscious, because I saw the doctors going over
Yeah.
to the patients that were talking. I'm like, hey, no, we need a doctor over here.
Yeah, I've had to do that too. Of like, when you go up to them, like, hey, I have a patient. I don't know if you're busy.
Nothing,
But, like, I brought somebody in, like, they need medical.
nothing will be as egregious as Frog,
Yeah.
because Frog fucking did a round in the ER because Dundee had been waiting for like an hour. He had been there like 10 minutes. And I had brought in a critical who I had to fucking intubate, who waited for 20
Yeah.
fucking minutes in the operating room for the doctor.
That's what I mean. It's like, that's why I tell them, don't be afraid. And I said, if there's any blowback from it, it will fall on me and I will handle it for you. Like, don't
that's
worry.
also what you need to tell them. Like everybody needs to
Yeah.
explain to them, but anything they do wrong as a trainee is actually our fault.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let's
That's why I
be real.
tell
It
them, look,
is our fault. Like if something
yeah,
happens on the scene, blame me. I didn't
yeah,
stop it. I didn't do what I should have done in that moment, and that's our bad. It's a joint mistake, but we take responsibility.
yeah. I think sometimes as FTOs and stuff as well, like, you need to look at the trainee you have and kind of gauge how they work. Because they all work
Every trainee is
different, you
different.
know what I mean? Like, the amount of trainees that I've seen or had that are like, I like working with you, David, because you do it at my rate and you know how I work. Whereas I felt like this FTO just threw me in on the deep end and it made me more panic. I want to be off duty and I couldn't focus, type of thing. And it's like,
I think I got the
if
same complaint actually.
yeah, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's not just been that one. You know what I mean?
No,
But it's
see,
like,
I give
yeah,
feedback. The moment I hear things
yeah,
like that, I give straight feedback to the
yeah.
FTO themselves.
And
I
that's what I
think
say.
that
Yeah,
some FTOs forget that that's how trainees work, and everybody has their
yeah,
own way. Some people are more strict than others. So one thing like me, V, and Kiki used to do was like we'd have like some trainees that we just didn't let go of some FTOs.
yeah,
We had specific FTOs that just couldn't take the
yeah.
timid trainees because that you give them a
They
session
break
with
them.
them and that trainee's not coming back again.
No,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because, like,
Like,
everybody's different. Every trainee's gonna learn differently, but also every FTO is gonna teach
Yeah,
differently.
like,
I think that's why I'm definitely more like hands off. I'm gonna watch you do the thing, and I will correct you from there. But I will be here if you need help. Like, kind of.
I actually,
More
when I
of
start a
that.
session, I ask them. Yeah, I like that type of teaching. But what I do, like when I start the session, is this is what you need to work on. What do you think you need to work on, and how can I help you work on that?
Yeah, that's what I do
Nice.
too.
Yeah, I always
Just
ask what
kind
they
of.
want to work on, what they want to focus on.
That's what I
And then
mean.
I'll
It's
say,
like,
sorry,
oh,
you go.
go. No, no, no. You.
No, I was gonna say like if they are nervous on radio, I'll say you want to give radio a go a few times. They do it a few times. If they're super nervous, I'll be like, you want to give it a break? You want to focus on something else? Yep, let's do that then, because they at least tried, right?
That's what I would do. Like, if I had one that was nervous on radio, I'd say, well, how about you tell me what you would say, and I will say it for you. You know what I mean? And
Yes,
then after a
yes.
few more times, it would be like, okay, do you want to try it this time while it's quiet? You know what I mean? Or I'd always just be like to a trainee, where do you think you're at when it comes to, you know, your development? What do you think your strengths are? And then I could actually look at them and be like, are those actually their strengths as well?
So
As you know what I mean?
actually, that's what brings me to the training group. So Ash wanted to speak to me about
Yeah.
that. I'll tell you how I structure that. When I take them out, I ask them all what they think they're good at and what they think they can work better on. Usually it's a mix. Like some are really good on the patient treatment, while others are really good at driving and dispatch and things like that. So the ones that are good with driving and dispatch, get them treating patients, and the ones that are good with everything else, just mix it up, make them do
Yeah, yeah.
things, but also challenge them. Like every now and then, throw them in the deep end. Say, hey, you said you're good at radio, then let's hear me. Let's hear you on the radio. Sort of.
Exactly.
But then it in them groups, it's always good to have like, if you do that, have two experienced people together, and then have the least experienced with you, but have that least experienced person guide you. And what I do is sometimes I just leave them to do their own thing. I let them go treat the patient, and I let them work it out between them on like how they do the treatment, and you can really see who's doing well with what they're doing. You can see who takes initiative, and actually, I solo cleared someone just from doing that the other day. They took lead,
Yeah.
they showed that they could do it, and I had no doubt in my mind that when I asked them, "Do you think you're ready for solo?" and they said yes, I had no doubt in my mind I was just gonna clear them there.
Yeah, I get that.
Um, be 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 aware that they don't have to be perfect to be solo.
No, exactly.
A lot of the issues you'll find is trainees are really nervous, and sometimes making them solo is that step, because solo trainees, still learning. Put them in that position where like they have to do it without us, because when I was in PD, the moment they gave me solo, I never had, like, I had complaints, but it was never about my police work.
Yeah.
It was always that I was doing way better, but that's because the pressure was off me. I didn't have somebody over my shoulder 24/7.
Yes, and that's also what I've been trying to say, especially in some of my reports. Has been like, the you can build up a lot when you're a solo trainee, because like you said, you're solo trainee, you're still learning, you're still meant to be learning, and like being solo can actually help you grow a lot.
Yep.
Because then,
I
like, so
mean-
there's no pressure. Confidence can be built even on your own.
I mean,
And
look
I
at
think
me.
there are some trainees that can benefit a lot from that. That's why I'm probably I'm okay clearing certain people.
I know I'm an anomaly because I was stubborn and just wanted to be a trainee forever. But it took,
That's literally what happened with you, actually. Like,
yeah.
that's
I
exactly
could-
what happened. You
I-
got solo trainee. And,
I only
where
went
you're at now.
specific FTOs because I had a lot of anxiety, so I would only go with Randy or Kiki or Tommy because that's who I was comfortable with. None of them were FTOs at the time, and then they all started getting FTO, and I got pissed off because it meant that I could get my sign-offs. Unfortunately, my sign-offs didn't go through before the final eval became a thing. I was almost the only trainee to go from non-solo to EMT. I'm so mad I bombed that. I'm so mad.
But that's like
Do you
what,
know
that's
what
literally what happened with you. The second you got solo trainee, you got more comfortable. You built up your confidence.
Yeah, to the point that
That
Tommy did
happened
a
with me
stealth
as well.
eval, and I did
Yeah.
fine. And then once I was EMT, it grew even further. I still remember the exact day where I was like, one, I can do this, and two, I want to step up and be a leader. And it was the day that Ren got strangled in her fucking ambulance.
Switch flipped in your brain.
Yeah, and then I remember I was telling Charlotte to go on calls. I was sitting with Ren. I think Kiki was tied up with something at the time.
That's I think that was like a really cool moment to be involved in.
Because, like, I feel like you could just see the timidness go away and the I'm in
Flip the
charge
switch. Yeah.
take over. And
So,
that's
and
what I
that's
want to see out of this next generation is who's going to move from being that timid little mouse to, you know, I'm going to take charge, because those are going to be
Yeah.
those are going to be the people who someday are sitting in our shoes.
You know,
yeah, and
I'm
that's
not gonna
why
lie.
I.
Oh, carry on.
Oh, sorry. You're
No, 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 no. You go,
no,
you
no,
go.
no.
Fine then, I'll go. Yeah, I also, when I was made solo, that really was nice for me because I learned a lot just by being able to like fiddle with things myself and do things myself. And so I became a lot more comfortable when I didn't have someone looking over my shoulder. Also, I became more comfortable when I had to hold down shift 2 for like 5 hours by myself, and then suddenly I was fine with everything. But
Yeah, that's also true. I think everyone should go through that at least once in
I
their
wish we could have everyone go through that.
God, because but that's why I'm such a big, I'm a really big advocate for solo trainee can benefit a lot of trainees if they are a little nervous or not fully confident with something, because then that pressure is taken away. Even if they're riding with somebody who is technically an FTO, they're a solo trainee. They're not having that FTO session where we're looking for sign offs and checking things off. It's just a ride along. And as
Yeah.
long as there's nothing concerning of, anything that's of concern if they are solo, I think it's fine to clear somebody if it's going to help them feel a little bit more confident. Because there's only
It's
so
a
much
lot more
we can do on
experience.
that front. Yeah.
One thing I was gonna see what you guys thought of was, again, I keep referring to back when I was an officer, but I feel like that's because I think PNT
You
for
hate it.
them. No, I think it was a bit more structured, and I went through the cadet phase as like an experienced
There she
FTO
is.
person. Oh hell yeah! Yes, she
David,
can
we
come
have
up here.
11, 12, 13.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh
Sorry.
yeah, we gotta
Wait,
beat you up, Charlotte. By the way, because you're not like
Yeah,
10
we
or
gotta beat you
14.
up. You either need 10 or 14.
can
So
I
you're
even
either
do
gonna
that?
have
I
to,
don't think I
well, you're
can do
gonna
that.
have
I'm
to
gonna kill
murder them.
someone.
Yeah. Sewer them.
No, I have to keep my call sign. I'm sorry.
That's
Lord
okay.
them.
You just won't be in the
My call sign plus Veronica Mars's call sign is the high five. So back off.
That's fine.
I find it funny because of, oh fuck, I just hung up on Angela.
Okay, get Angela up here. I'm gonna think quickly.
We're on the roof.
But yeah, don't lose your thought. You were saying something that you were.
Wait, what
you
was the
got
topic?
lost.
Because I literally lost it already.
We were talking about solo trainees being cleared
Yeah.
just to help with their
Oh yeah,
confidence and
so
being able
I'll say it now so it's on your guys' mind too. Remember this. What about when you think they're ready, you let them go on a call on their own. Just fucking let them go.
Yeah.
Just send
Ooh,
them on their way.
yeah. Ooh,
And
I
then
like
them come
that.
back and then explain to you what they did. Right. I'm thinking, Angela, give me 1 second, but you guys keep talking, fill her in while I'm thinking.
Hello, Angela. Welcome to the shift. Welcome
Oh,
to the
I
meeting.
I am sorry my door was really sticky this morning.
It's
That's
okay.
alright. You are here
Gross.
now. We have FTI gang together.
You should
Yeah.
clean your door more often.
That's
I honestly think it's the same person who keeps swapping the number on my apartment as a prank. I think they sealed it up as a thinking it was funny. Haha, it's Saturday, but it wasn't very funny.
That's what you get for trying to bully me.
fair enough. So we've talked about a few different things. I don't even know where to really start. We've just been having conversations. Like there's not really an
It's
official
more like
Has
agenda
where
meeting
we
notes of
felt like how certain trainees are and kind of like the
yeah.
responsibilities of FTOs that like how actually we can be people that fail our trainees by not working with them the way that they should be worked with and like what works best. But also a big thing we talked about was inter-shift communication and actually not being afraid to either one, just correct someone. Like if you see someone doing something wrong, just say it as it is. Just say like, tell them. We were talking about not letting things fester up and waiting 2 weeks, and then the person that we go to about the problem forget about the problem and just be like, well, we never forgot. But
Yeah,
like,
just being more quick to act on that stuff of like, oh, this thing
yeah.
happened, and maybe, if it can't be addressed that day, address it the next day.
Hmm.
Like,
Another, yep.
right, just nip it in the bud, just get that taken care of instead of letting it sit.
Another thing was how we're talking about like the process of being solo cleared and what that really means, because we're talking about how someone doesn't have to be fully perfect to be solo cleared, right? And that there's a lot more to learn by being solo cleared to lead onwards. And then the idea was being fluttered around of, if you believe that someone could be solo cleared, let them go to a call on their own and see how it goes. And that was our latest discussion.
Yes, and I gotta say, I like that idea a lot. I like the idea of
I'm here.
if you have a trainee, especially if you're kind of in maybe doing like especially if you're doing a solo eval, like if that's intended to be their solo eval, sending them on a call on their own and then having that debrief after of okay, what'd you do? What happened on the scene? What did you do? How do you feel?
What did you do?
Oh
Yeah.
my god,
Wave
what
your
the
finger.
fuck did you do? Get
Wave
What
your
did you
finger
do?
at
I,
them.
I almost
What
said
did you do?
I almost said get in my
Exactly.
office, but I don't have an office
Yeah.
anymore because the government took it from me.
I've been
I
using
actually-
the classroom, and everyone.
Yeah.
I go to people, meet me in the classroom, and everyone's like, "Where the fuck's
Oh
the
yeah, I want
classroom?"
to
I
start
was
using
like,
that
"Yeah."
classroom more.
I actually think
It's
we
so
really
good.
need to work on like figuring somewhere we can go as EMS in the hospital, and I think that
Yeah.
classroom is probably the
I
place.
think that's the place as
Classroom's a
well.
vibe, bro. I love that classroom.
I
Or
feel like it's
Can we
Classroom
just-
and up here.
can we just drag
Yeah.
people to the fire tower and then
Oh my
if-
god, Gang Turf, we're claiming it.
I do want to start using. That's why I suggested that one time we were doing that academy, like that online. Like,
I think
students
using the
mini academy.
firehouse.
I would like to start
Mm.
using the firehouse because if there's a day that we can potentially get that back, I think I would like that.
Yeah.
Even if we
Yeah.
still hang out here, it's nice to have our own place to have.
Well,
our
it's
own
just around the
lockers
corner, so
and-
it's
And
not
here's
unrealistic
the
to hang
thing,
out at both.
if we ever do want to get it back, we'd have to show the city why. And the way we show
Yeah.
the city why is by using it. And I
Yeah,
think it is
exactly.
a good space to use for training because you can set up all sorts of scenarios. You can set up car accidents, you can set up MCIs. Because no one really uses that parking lot, to my knowledge.
Yeah, it's a great space for trainings. Also, it's a good if we do want to have a meeting, not have like doctors walking in and all that stuff. Like
Or
it is a
cars running
spot.
through. And
Because like
Yeah.
the classroom and stuff, doctors will use that occasionally. I've occasionally walked in there and there's a doctor interview or something going on or whatever.
I just want our own space.
Me too.
Yeah,
I,
I-
space
I
Don't get
get-
me wrong.
Firehouse. would
I-
be great.
I love our emergency lane. Love it. But that's not a proper space to hang out.
No,
I'm gonna be honest,
love
I
being
don't
with
love
the
it.
doctors.
I love seeing the doctors, but I'm tired of anyone running through that lane and almost running people over and stuff. And like,
Yeah.
I'm tired of
sometimes
having
as
to be a
well,
chihuahua.
I'm also annoyed with like sometimes like when there's 40 people in this hospital, the headache.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like
So I would love to see us use the firehouse more for these things. That's why I think academy is a good having
So-
academy there is a great spot. And that's
For,
a good place to start. And
these-
then these meetings are also a good place to start with that. I think.
I'm not gonna lie, I do like rooftop meetings.
Me too.
Rooftop
Roof is a
meetings are
vibe.
a
For
vibe.
next weekend's academy, why don't we just do some of the driving there at the airport, and then we
Yeah.
could move the rest of it to the firehouse?
No,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Did a driving
And that would
course, 'cause
have
the
us
driving course
right.
is good.
Well, and that would have us right by the hills right there, so that they could
Yeah.
practice driving on hills and learn how to
Yeah,
handle
well,
ambos off road.
Okay,
Exactly. That's why I love that area so much.
so me and Veronica had this thing that we wanted to train people a long time ago, and I spoke to you guys about it a little bit, but like I don't think a few of you were there. We were I don't know where we'd implement it, but we used to talk a lot about like mental health and treating people with like PTSD and knowing what to do and what not to do. Would that be something we could implement into academies in the future? Do you think that's academy level, like basic knowledge on like mental health?
I
At least
think it
enough to
is
get
because
them to the hospital, I guess, to
I-
speak.
I'm gonna be
to
honest. I
doctors.
think it is because you get a lot of calls, and I'm gonna say it. A lot of them tend to be at senior bums, but it's a lot of feral people. You know what I mean? And people that aren't in a great place, and people need to know how to handle that. You know what I mean? Like, I had someone that thought they were a dog, and my trainee just looked really confused. You know what I mean? And it's like being able to just handle and tell people that a lot of people have seen some shit
Yeah.
living here, and people need to be made aware of that. You know what I
Well,
mean? And
I think me and Veronica have probably. I don't want to like say we've dealt with it the most, but I do believe me and you
I
dealt with the mental health calls the
very
most.
vividly remember I got called to the MRPD cells. Samantha Sanders had just been interrogated over something with Dundee, and she was having a full-blown panic attack over
I
going
remember
up to
that.
prison. I was so far out of my depth. I spent probably 45 minutes in there trying to calm her down. And in comes Grayson, who basically tells her her career is over. And I'm like, I almost cursed Grayson out because I had spent 45
nice.
minutes
Yeah.
calming her down, and he couldn't wait for her to be transported to the prison to break that news to her.
Oh,
Yeah, so I think that would be really beneficial, and also probably like a way to help manage.
I mean, these guys
That
are.
does happen.
I'm happy for people to come up here now. By the way, I genuinely think like our conversations were just like
Yeah.
just getting time to chill. And I'm sorry you didn't get that, Angela. So
should
when
I swap to Team Orange Shirt Gang now?
I don't
'Cause
know what
it
this
looks like
is. If
all
I'm
of y'all are
honest.
wearing
Yes.
orange.
Orange gang.
Can you
Orange gang,
imagine if we
FTO
made it a
gang.
thing where FTOs were orange and
My
regular
God.
EMTs were red? Like,
Yeah. Fucking
No.
for real.
can you
Other way
imagine
around.
that?
Other way
Can you
around.
imagine? That'd be so messed up.
That'd be great, bro.
I
That'd
like
be
the
so
red.
fucked. That'd be so fucked up.
Yeah,
Be
so
so
what I
messed
was
up.
saying about the mental health stuff, like just to not get off topic, because I'll like lose my track, my mind track
Oh
of
yeah,
mind.
someone
Track.
taking notes. Speaking
Yep.
of losing track, are you taking notes?
No,
No.
but I have mental notes. I've got a lot of
Okay.
mental notes.
Okay, bet.
So when it comes to like the mental health stuff, what my thoughts were is like teaching people to not touch somebody that is having it like a a break, like they're breaking down, they're in a corner, they're scared. Don't touch them. Simple things like that.
I will fucking punch someone if I'm dissociating or panicking and they touch me. Happy learned that one firsthand.
I
Oh,
learned
yeah,
that too when it was
I've tried
raining.
Honestly, I've tried that a few times, and it's
Yeah,
not
so
gone
it's
well
just-
every time.
Yeah,
There's
so
only one
it's
time where I almost died.
it's basically taking that and just trying to help navigate the situation, help calm the person down. I think that'll be extremely beneficial.
So I've gone ahead and jotted in a bullet point for things with it's sort of the last station in the stuff for the academy and for the training. The unusual station, it's sort of the catch-all for things that don't readily fall into other things. So far, I've just got mental health, how to treat someone having a breakdown, panic attack, PTSD, and other situations.
So this is what I was saying earlier to some people is I was I remember having to call Veronica because I had found myself in a really awkward situation. I had officers with class 2 firearms, class 1 firearms, and any weapon you could think of, they had it. I didn't know what the fuck to do, but at that time I was also an officer at the same time, so I disarmed them. But like knowing when to do that as a medic, that's probably something good to know. Because we really shouldn't be taking class 2 firearms off somebody, but if you're making sure they're safe and you're safe, then you would do it, right?
Jesus, hopefully we're never in
Right.
that situation again where we have
Never
to
again.
disarm officers with class 2 firearms.
Do you remember walking in and seeing me with like that fucking LMG on my back?
Yeah, I also remember sitting there with Booba and Turo and having to remind them that they were back.
Constantly.
So hopefully we never have to deal with anything on that scale again.
But then
Because
But it's
holy
good to
fuck, that was a
prepare.
crisis.
It's
Yeah,
good to
that's what I
have a
mean.
plan and prepare.
But
It's
then
better
though.
also like with Blake in the woods that time, Veronica.
I had
think
to
that
deal with
was-
Blake multiple times.
Yet I think that's when we were like, we need to teach medics how to deal with this. Hi, Savannah. I thought
Yo.
maybe we get a little bit of trainee point of view on like what they expect of us too.
Yeah, can you stand in the middle? No.
Yeah, stand in the middle. Tell us what you want from us.
Tell us what you want.
Yeah, what do you want?
Tell us.
I don't know. I don't know what you mean.
What do you
I
think
got
we should do
nothing.
better?
Okay.
That's okay. If you don't have an answer right now,
Yeah.
that is totally
Yeah,
fine.
you're
You can also always approach
brain
any of
empty,
us.
no thoughts right now.
So
You can also approach any of us later on when you have if thoughts come to mind. It's okay.
With the mental health thing, I've gone ahead and also added the other side of it too, is checking in on ourselves and other EMS.
Yes, that's something I was also going to bring up because we can only check on other people if we're also checking in on ourselves and we're able to handle it. That is also very important. I think we've been doing a pretty good job checking in on each other, to be honest.
Yeah.
At least from what I've seen. Maybe.
well,
I'm wrong.
Angela, what we were saying before you guys kind of got here was like as FTOs and FTIs, you kind of have to sort of make yourself available for everyone to want to talk to you and yeah, just making yourself approachable and being the person that you want the trainees to be too. Just kind of, I don't know, making it an environment that they know that if they do things that they are going to be encouraged to do it.
Yes, but also don't be afraid to set some boundaries. If you don't want somebody emailing you at random hours every day, please let them know. Don't be afraid to set up boundaries either.
I just
I know
put my
for
email
me-
on silent when it's time for it to be
I
silent.
told them
So-
this is my availability.
Yeah, I'll put this out here now. I'm okay with emails. Emails don't bother me. The only time it bothers me is if you are seeing me and you decide to email me regardless. That's where that's my boundary. At that point, just call. I would prefer a call or just continue to speak in person. And I'm saying that because that happened today, and
Yeah,
I didn't
we've
like it.
we've had a few issues today with that. I'm gonna be real. If you can wait, drop it in a text to me. But if you can't wait, if it's something you actually want dealt with there and then,
Thank you for the
I'll
follow, I
take
appreciate it.
emails. But yeah, if it's like asking me questions or like looking for advice on like something that isn't completely relevant, yeah,
That's fine.
just drop a text.
I
If
hate
it's something
some of you right now, by the way.
you what?
So much. I hate some of you right now, by the way.
How
Those
many
of
of
you
us?
know.
How many of
I-
us just sent Ash an email
I-
when she said
I
that?
considered it.
Oh.
I did.
But,
God.
On the
Yeah.
email thing though, I know I typically can't be around these times. My schedule is very confined to the NA time zone during the week. If there are any issues, that you feel like need command attention and you can't get a hold of somebody, shoot me a text or shoot me an email. Doesn't matter which. I check my texts pretty much every day because I'm around every day, just usually in the NA times.
Yeah, same.
I can always make time on the weekends to come around at pretty much any time. So just let me know, because I can't be around if I don't know I need to be around.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, just basically that, like making yourself available and letting people know that they can come talk to you about things, no matter what. But also don't be afraid to set those like hard boundaries of what isn't okay.
I think one of the hard boundaries should be that if trainees want to have a session, they use the channels or email. But if they're gonna do that, they don't call you when they wake up. They don't text you. They don't, they make one effort yeah, they make one effort and that's the effort they make. If you can't do it, you know, you would have responded to them the first time. Like we had a
Yeah.
trainee today, not just calling Ash, not just calling Veronica, actually calling me and trying to guilt trip me to take them on a session. And I said no, and I said even clearer that at this point I don't want them to do that anymore because one, I'm not going to take them on a session because they're guilt tripping me, but two, I said no. I said no the first second of a phone call.
Yeah,
So
like.
I have to get. Oh, go on.
Oh, happy.
Oh, happy.
Happy.
What?
Oh no.
I think we're all seeing the same thing, right? Yeah.
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 What? It's nice
Lower
little.
it.
No, don't touch me. Are you trying to push me further?
Okay.
Oh,
thank God.
okay.
Oh,
I saved your life.
Mike Smith got hit by a train.
So yeah,
Unlucky.
there's that.
Get it. Hi. David, you go take the call. I'm 10-6, brother. Sorry.
Savannah, question. Say
What's up?
we were like, hey, you're good at what you do. Go get that call on your own. What did you say? He's fine. Oh my god.
He's fine.
Yep.
He's fine.
Did you guys see that?
Yep.
Oh.
Just pray that none of us have a headache, because that's how James Rue ended up on the
That's
ground.
how I fell on the floor too.
The first time it happened to you, you didn't.
No, it was Louise
We'll
that had
be
the headache, and Louise was
And there was
fine.
a time
and then
Happy had the
I-
headache at the observatory, and me, Winston, and Kiki all thought he was about to fall to his death.
Oh yeah.
We'll be fine.
Oh yeah, but what I was saying is like, would if I sent you on a call right now, what would you do? Like you went on your own. Like
Go
go.
to the call.
Would you be okay with that? Like you think that would
Yeah.
help?
Yeah, I mean, there's been plenty of times where I just want to get in the ambulance and just do it myself. Because I'm waiting on people. It's annoying, but it is what it is.
We're
You're so
holding
stupid.
hands. We're holding hands. He's keeping me up.
No.
I don't think that's his hand.
I think it
It's an
depends on what the
unicorn.
call is.
Sorry, I don't see.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Savannah.
I mean, it depends on
Depends
what the
on
call
what the call
is. Just generally, not necessarily for myself, but just generally, you know, for a trainee. It depends on
Are
what the
there?
call is.
Yeah. So you're saying depending on what the call is, are there any calls that come to mind to you that it would be like a no? They shouldn't go on their own. And if you don't have an example, that's fine too.
I mean, like any big PD scene that has multiple people that are injured.
Who is that?
I don't know who it is. I have my guesses.
Hey, sweet Bonita.
You know, I kind of knew, but then I didn't want to say it just in case it wasn't.
What was it? The 5 o'clock shadow.
I think it was just
Yeah.
you. I think it's just you.
I see you
Okay,
guys have been having fun tonight.
But going
Yeah.
to Savannah, you so you say PD scene of like having multiple people down, like a
Yeah, like shot
than
and
one.
whatnot.
Yeah,
So
okay.
those people are gonna need more
I agree. I
attention
think that
than
would
one
be
person.
Yeah,
can
I
give.
think
too much for one person.
I think like
But
that
that's
911 that just
just-
came in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Or
want
yeah, that
not
I agree. I'm like
complicated.
David, I think
guess.
that's a crime. Please don't.
I'm not doing what I want.
Well, why are you asking permission? Like, I'm sorry. This man says just ask me permission. Of course you can.
Oh, heck yeah. Let's throw in the sewers. So he's been all like the last week, just in the sewers.
David, can you take a few of us in the
Can
sewers
do.
one day? Like, you don't have to, Ben, but
Oh, the whole reason I bought a crowbar was to take people from EMS into the sewers.
Yes, I want to
Wanna
go
go
to the sewers.
change.
I want to get a layout of the
We
sewers,
will
learn
do
it.
Sewers, yeah. We
So
can
bad.
do sewers day.
I would love that. I would
I will
say today, but I
let
can't.
you
promise.
know. It's no. I'll let you guys know. Oh no,
Okay.
today I am today's my day off. I need it before I go insane and throw a brick at someone.
It's
That's
your day
fair.
off, but you're here for a meeting. Wow, that's
No,
crazy.
but this is
Well,
like
it's just it work. We're not even really a meeting. It's just kind
So-
of talking.
Yeah,
This is
it
me
was.
bullying my call sign neighbors. You don't understand.
True.
They
Do
told
you
me I
bully
have to
me
your
every
kill
day.
call
people
sign
to get a new
neighbors
call
like
I
that?
don't
sign.
have any.
Well, maybe.
Right,
I
we
love
don't-
your
it's
call
not
sign, by the
angry
way.
outside.
Yeah.
Guys, I really need you guys to see something because so my state ID is 1690, right? And if you look at my number, I feel like it's a
I
sign.
really hate everything.
I love
I'm
it.
jumping off the roof.
Meanwhile,
I
my
want the
my
number.
ping today is 52. I'm a walk-in 52 request.
Yeah, but isn't that you every day?
It's better than being 47.
Don't push me off, please.
I don't need to take
I
this.
have arrived.
Bye.
What if we all just quit?
I quit.
Yeah, what if we all
No.
just quit? We start a private hospital and we
Fire
only
me for no
charge.
reason.
Yeah, that is true. Happy said he was gonna fire my neighbor.
Happy said he was gonna fire me for no
I'd like
reason.
to put in a
Yeah,
complaint about Happy.
real and true.
Mhm.
I've tried to get Happy fired before, and Ash.
That's probably
Yeah,
true.
but that's why,
That's
like, on the friendship scale, you're
Probably
like a
true.
2
I
today.
tried to quit as well.
You tried to
this
get
whole
me
go,
fired
so.
before I was even onboarded.
Oh yeah, I tried to get you fired too.
I can't talk shit. I'm only here because of you. Like on this roof.
Okay.
Yeah, I allowed you on this
So-
roof, and I'm gonna allow you to
Yeah.
spend some time with your wife.
You're so kind to me, honestly.
So kind. Thank you so much.
Speaking, I guess, speaking of that, is there anything else? Like, I do kind of want to talk more about Academy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys gotta grab the Polito
especially
call.
if we're adding, especially if we're adding the mental health part of it. I kind
Mhm.
of want to
Alright,
Polito
so
get
call.
what
that
all
flesh
are we
before
going to be putting into that then?
the MDT. And if there's an academy next weekend, I guess we can just use before putting it. I guess we can use that to see what would work, what wouldn't work, what we. So I kind of want, if it's in the MDT, I kind of want that to be the official. This is the curriculum, I guess, for I don't know what other word to really use for our community. Like this is, how they would essentially run, especially whenever we start hiring some more people. We have like another big group of trainees.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to ask about here in a second. I don't know what you guys think about that though. Maybe that's just me. That
Fairness,
thought
I like
process.
having, like, what we were talking about earlier, like, once we transfer everything into the MDT, is having it, like, labeled as the little classes that it is, because even if you can't do, like, an academy with a bunch of people, say there's, like, one or two trainees that are on duty that haven't, like, gone through something, you can, like, go through those little classes with them, you know what I mean? And, like, they can see it, and then that way, like, having the position of, like I agree with what you're saying about having like an FTI thing in a way, so then that way we can edit that, and then we feel like when that's ready to be pushed out, it's there. You know what I mean? But I think it's good to have like the little curriculum, because I think it's just a good thing overall. Like, I think having everyone kind of, and I'm just gonna say this in the nicest way, I think in a way, everyone should kind of go through it in a sense, whether it's trainee or not, because just because we all used to work at a hospital or stuff like that, like things are different now, and people are different now, and everything is just very different. You know what I mean? And I think everyone needs to just be on the same page.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, there shouldn't be an excuse as
Give me
to
a
why
second.
no one is on a different page. You know?
Are you trying to get that call, Savannah? Go on your own.
I agree. Definitely could have everybody look at it. I just think to get that started, it's probably better for a smaller group. And then
No,
even if it's in the
exactly,
MDT,
yeah.
we can still make changes.
That's
But
what I
I know
mean, yeah.
having it in that separate document it's in now is also so much easier to have
Yeah.
comments
Mhm.
and notes in the document without editing it directly.
Yeah.
And then we can probably have like another meeting at some point and talk about it.
Yeah.
Or even just text each other and talk about it. I wish we could do group text.
Thing is, I feel like soon, yeah. I feel
Oh,
like
I don't think you want that. I'm not gonna lie.
no, no. I
It would
think
be
like
Yeah,
chaos.
I tried putting
I-
together an academy curriculum like 5 years ago, and
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember I asked for help on it, and no one. I was the only one that put stuff in it.
I would have helped you. I
I don't
was
think I had
helping you.
access
I was
to it.
helping.
I don't think
If
I had
No,
access
everybody
to
did,
it, though.
Ash. Everybody
anything
did.
that
Oh.
that's been like overlooked or that you have old stuff that would help, I'll gladly get it added in because I've just been
Yeah, if you still have
grabbing
that
I-
stuff
on
from the
hand, please.
MDT,
So-
stuff that people have sent me.
The serial killer stuff kind of has to be reworked. We haven't had a serial killer yet.
keyword was yet, by the way.
Still good to have. But
Yeah.
So
yet.
I kind of
It's
want to
better
wait
to.
and see how those scenes are gonna play out. You know, because back in the day, there used to be some very obvious things around the serial killer scene.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's gonna, you know, are serial killers gonna leave behind that kind of evidence anymore.
That's true.
Mhm.
So I don't want to train something that ends up being completely irrelevant, you know?
I think
Yeah,
having a
that's true.
protocol for it though is a good idea in
Oh,
the sense
absolutely.
of like having something there is better than not having something there, right? Like I have the opinion on I'd rather be over prepared than under prepared. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because, like,
Yeah, same.
I don't know if it's gonna be that, you know, like when Fate took me, you could very clearly see some faint footsteps
Mm-hmm.
and all that, but I don't know, like, is it gonna be as easy to find those things, you know?
That's true. I mean, Charlotte, what's your next plan for like, you know, are you gonna leave us evidence when you take us all out?
Well, you see, I always told people that I would leave notes and I'd make them so convincing that people would think there was a serial killer, and they wouldn't be able to tell who it was, like me or them. But what if I am the serial killer?
I'm gonna be
What if
honest.
it's
I'll
all
leave it.
just-
I'm a prick. I'll leave all the notes in Braille. I'll let you guys figure it out the hard way.
Fuck
Right,
that! I
but
just won't know. I'll just be
wouldn't that be
oblivious.
obvious that it was you?
That would be obvious. Yeah. That'd be
What-
But
obvious.
that's what I'd want you to think.
Oh my
It's like
god,
if
make
you're-
it really obvious it's
Yeah.
you, but then make it feel like you're a victim of your own crime.
Yeah,
like somebody is
exactly.
targeting you, but
Oh
in
my God, they're
reality is
stealing
it's
my
you.
That sounds like a
identity.
plot to a movie.
Oh my
There's
god.
another blind
yeah,
guy and he's
imagine.
stealing my identity.
I need to tell
Help.
someone that my identity isn't one that they want to steal.
But yes,
Yeah.
so
Go ahead and
I-
steal my identity. It's fine.
I already
Sure,
do.
if you want a psycho ex-wife to chase you down, by all means.
yeah, so all right, cool. I guess we're on the same page with the academy stuff.
Also, I want to tell you guys the vibe I want for PNT. I want it to be like this. I don't want it to be like something where like everything is so important. Like PNT lead is everything, FTIs are everything, FTOs are, you know, like they report to everyone. Like what I want is I want FTOs to report to you guys and then you guys come to me, but in reality it's just gonna be this thing. Like where we're a group. We
Yeah, more of a
figure shit out.
conversation.
Yeah, we figure shit out
Say-
together and just you know,
As
help each
PNT
other.
lead, I'm disappointed that you didn't bring food for everyone.
I'm
just saying,
disappointed
like,
in myself.
I
but
only
then-
come to meetings when there's free food. You know what I mean? That's the whole point.
Look,
Good for next
I
time.
actually had to do something before I came here, and Veronica can vouch for me. Actually, I did two things. I one fucked up with something by accident,
Nice.
purposely.
Same, to be honest. We can
Somebody came here, I think, to see me, and I didn't realize they specifically came here to see me.
say- Oh.
And I jokingly hung up on someone. It was
It's
a
like
whole
when I hung up
drama.
on
No, it was not when I
Angela
was
when she
leaving.
just got here.
Yeah. Yup.
Oh, it got to the point though, like when we were talking about the whole trainees and that calling and shit afterwards, it got to the point where I just take my SIM card out and have a new one. Like, so annoying. But, yeah, no. So whenever they fuck up or do something wrong, I make them do a lap.
Okay.
Mhm.
By the way, I think this is like a better approach to take if you're trying to encourage trainees to talk and do things too.
Yeah.
I think like my biggest thing here is just encouraging people from the start to be able to talk about their things and
That's what I mean,
see
right?
that we communicate as a team. There's no issue here, and I honestly think that you guys are a good team. I think we all work together really well, and I think the only person that we're missing here who is gonna be probably more involved would be actually Kiki and Misa. I think everybody else is kind of out of it. And what we need to do is start noticing FTOs. So I'm gonna rely on you guys for this, because you know how you said that you don't have people noticing things in your time zones.
Yeah.
I need you guys to notice it for us. If you see people doing well, see people like going above and beyond for like FTOing and stuff, tell us, let us know. Be our eyes and ears, because you guys are also all advanced EMTs too, right? We're all advanced EMTs. So you know our opinions right now matter. You hear something that people are having issues, we need to like make sure we're taking that to command to let them deal with that. Just be eyes and ears. Honestly,
we can't address problems that we don't know are problems.
That's what I was saying earlier.
And
Communicate.
I'm really hoping we start getting some of you guys up to paramedic, because I would like to start reinforcing a chain of command, because there's a lot of stuff that I see come through that could have been dealt with medic to medic rather than involving command.
Yeah.
I remember me and Happy had like a conversation about something that could have that was dealt face to face, but it was still taken to command, and it just wasn't necessary, but it should have been taken to command.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're getting there though. Because like with promotions to FTI, promotions to AEMT, that kind of thing, we're getting our chain of command fleshed out again. We're getting our bearings, so I think that's gonna be kind of fixed hopefully over the next few weeks, and people are like, okay, I can just go to this person instead of going right up to the chiefs. And
yeah, that's an issue in itself. Like your person that you contact shouldn't have to be the chief. Me and you were talking about that earlier, right, David? Just
Yeah.
how it feels like the only people you can go to is like chief or deputy chief at the moment, and it shouldn't have to be that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that was the problem I had, right? Is like I was trying to help people, and this was like when I just got FTI, and then someone was like, "Well, I'm an AEMT, so I'm just gonna do it," and I'm just like, "Say fucking less. See what happens."
Here's my thoughts on that. Okay, so
Yeah.
rank matters in both ways, right? But
Yeah,
if it's
it
a
does,
trainee,
yeah.
if it's a trainee
That's what I said.
involved
It's
issue,
a training thing. Yeah.
if it's trainees, you are the point of contact. In your time
Yeah.
zone, you guys are the point of contact now. Anything to do with trainees should only come to like us. Like always tell us, because it's good to know. But you guys can deal with that on your level. And an advanced EMT, a paramedic, a lieutenant, if they're not an FTI, that's your department. That's what you do.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like
Here's the way I see it, and I'm gonna reiterate this with the command meeting, I think, later today, is when it comes to the training of the next generation, the only times I think things should come directly to command is if it's something particularly egregious that would warrant strike points, and Parker's working on the strike point matrix now. It's gonna be very similar to what it was 5 years ago.
But I personally
I'm gonna
also
go
believe
to that 52 request
Yeah.
because
Okay.
I don't think there's anyone else who can grab it.
Cool. I don't think that trainees should really be getting strike points, if I'm being honest.
Well, it all
I
depends.
think-
If they're like a solo trainee, then I think...
solo trainees, yeah.
I think it depends on what they
It all
do.
depends on what they do.
Yeah, and also depends on what they
yeah,
do.
like
Because I think if
Really
they're doing
depends on
things
what
that are
they do.
worthy of strike points, and in reality, it
we
shouldn't
should be firing them.
It shouldn't be giving them strike points. It should be
Yeah.
assessing them, pushing them back to non-solo if they're fucking up too much, and firing them if it's too much. Should be a
like
whole
the way
process.
I see it is, and this is how PD was back in the day, I think, is if you are non-solo, you fuck up too bad, you're gone. It's not even a strike point thing. It's a you are not fully hired on yet.
Yep.
You are not fully hired on until you are an EMT. Like, yes, you're employed, but as a trainee, you are expendable.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that we really need to bring back. Like, not even bring back, but bring to, like, trainee and stuff, because it is as Tim says, it's a privilege. Being EMS is a privilege.
Yep. It is. I did not mean to say it. It's I'm a little tired, but I agree. It's definitely a privilege, but I think we need to get that fleshed out of that
Yeah.
what if.
So I mean, no, like it's communication.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
communication's
right? Like,
great.
essentially,
Great.
like,
Literally
mhm.
makes everything go round. It's great.
I just refuse to communicate with Happy, to be honest, since he doesn't.
Yeah, same. He just,
Yeah.
he just doesn't.
I communicate with Happy more than I communicate with anyone
Yeah,
else.
literally all of the people that I
you
had
refuse
on
Oh
my
yeah,
list
it's the
for...
NA click, guys. It's the NA click.
Okay, but
Look
no, Ash
crazy.
goes into other shifts, and like all of my
That's so crazy.
AU or EU people that I had on my list for promotions were the people that Ash had mentioned to me.
I am Happy's eyes and ears.
Okay, yeah, that's what I kind of want you
So
guys
it's like,
to be too.
so like when talking about like that sort of thing, yeah, we need you guys to just like tell us, find a time, pull me aside, and be like, hey, these people have been stepping up and doing great.
Also, David, I know it probably feels odd that like I made you FTI and like you got advanced EMT after, but no, like I did push the advanced EMT stuff along, and that's because people aren't getting recognized, I think, in the time zones and stuff.
Well, that's what I
And
mean, right? Like, I worked a lot in the AU and the EU, but I do what I like to call the early EU, and I think sometimes when it comes to like when you're clarifying the times of shifts and shit like that, right? It's like with AU, the problem AU medics had, right? You'd have all these people. Like, if I'm just going to be honest, if you had like people like Alice and Aphrodite and all that, they'd come around for like 2-3 hours, then they would be gone, and then you have that massive gap where there would be like no one, right? Or it'd be me and Angela type of thing. For me, it was more weird because of what everyone else was saying. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, everyone was like, I was getting people making like weird remarks in the sense because I got made an FTI, and I said to people, I was like, okay, I'm not how I like. Okay, if we're gonna look at it, okay, 5 years ago, I wasn't at the level everyone else was that I'm currently at now. I said, but my word, I said that doesn't fucking matter. I said at the end of the day, I said,
yeah,
since day one of this hospital reopening, I've been here trying to put in as much work as I could. When I got made an FTO, I would take out a good different amount of vet trainees, you know what I mean, and had a good rapport with them. I said when it came to hours, I said, shit, even when I was on LOA and I went back home for surgery, I only missed out for 5 days. But that was through choice, you know what I mean? I don't overdo it. Like, I don't burn myself out. I said, and I turned around and I just said to everyone, I was like, look, you all got AMT and I didn't. Fair enough.
You should have
But
gotten
when
AMT at that time. I think it was
That's
just
what
we didn't have the hours in front of us, and
yeah.
So what I got
was
told, I'll be honest, what I got told was it was the command for that shift that put the name forward, right?
that's not how that worked.
And yeah, so this is what I got told, right? And my command for that shift technically was Parker, right? And me and Parker even sat down and said this. Parker's an NA medic now, not through choice, you know what I mean? But that's just when Parker can be around, which is fair. So I had, for example, D'Angelo say to me, I couldn't put your name forward because you're not under my shift.
What?
The only reason. And then I got put
I am
back
sick
into.
and tired of him saying stuff that is wrong with authority.
And then I heard he put forward Dion or something, and I was just like, well, I'm confused. And I'm just like, in this confused middle of like, do I go back to AU then? Because I work both. I do AU and EU just as much. You know what I mean? And I said the reason I put myself in the EU to begin with is because EU had the least amount of people and the least amount of authority in it, and I just wanted to see that shift grow. You know what I mean? And my thing was like, and this is what I was saying to Charlotte earlier. The reason I like the group that we have is you have me and Angela who both work the AU going into EU, and then we can talk to Charlotte or whoever might be around going from EU going into NA, and then those
Yeah.
people can communicate from the NA going into AU. And I said it
Yeah,
worked.
I feel a lot more comfortable with things now because one of the big issues is
The
or
swing.
with the first one promotions
Mhm.
was just that like everyone was just putting forth the names that they knew
Yeah.
anything about, and honestly I think none of like you weren't on my list, and that was just because we
Yep.
hadn't crossed paths
That's what I'm
in
saying,
5
right?
years, right? Like
And that's what
it
I
wasn't
said, right?
anything against you. I just didn't.
Yeah, like,
I didn't know
Like, if we
how
had
you've
had
been
the
doing.
hours in front of us, it would have been a
Yeah.
no-brainer. But
We would have at least known to like talk to people and be like, "Hey, how's David doing?"
that's what I mean,
But
right?
now
Like,
that we have AMTs, we have like,
yeah.
or we have more of a command or chain of command. We have our people that we can go and talk to, right? We can go and talk to the AEMTs and be like, okay, who's
Yeah.
doing good and
That
sort of
doesn't mean that
thing.
we can't put people's names forward too. Like you see somebody
No.
doing
Yeah,
something
exactly.
good, say it.
No, but
don't
that's what I
understand why
mean.
D'Angelo
See-
said that.
But like, but that's what I mean, right? But it's a sense of like everyone else that would see me work would say, I'm just gonna be real. Like AU medics are very backstabby in a sense, you know what I mean? And I'm like, that's not how I am. Like, I can lead a group, but I also like everyone to eat well out that table. You know what I mean? And it's the same with like everyone, right? Like, there were so many people that got pissed at me for becoming FTI because they felt I didn't deserve it, or because they felt I never used to be in command, or I never used to be
Yeah,
an
I feel that.
AMT and shit like that. And I'm like,
There was a very
this
specific
time-
reason I did that too. So
yeah, but like there was a, but I was like not being real, but like the way I've been working and like trying to talk to people and actually build something, I said it was hard for me to meet out to NA command because realistically, for like the last 3 weeks, I would fly home and I've had like 5 surgeries at home. You know what I mean? So I was
Yeah.
like, I couldn't just be around all the time like I would want to be. I was like, so I was doing the AU and EU, and I was like, that works for me. You know what I mean? And I said, and this is what I said to Charlotte and a few other people. I said I felt bad for AU people because no one was taking out their trainees and no one was doing anything. And I was like, I just felt bad for them, and I was like, I'll take them out. You know what I mean? Like they good people. Like
I'll take them out. I'll kill them.
Alright,
It's
Yeah,
okay.
what on
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
list?
but it's just like
We're just
As I
they
said-
were bitching and moaning and
But it-
crying
but it
and
was
screaming
more
and
like-
throwing up a little bit.
for me, it's like just because I wasn't. I said this time around at EMS, I said I've been very different. You know what I mean? And I said I have a lot of drive, and I know what I want. I know where I want to get to. You know what I mean? And I was like, I'll work for that. And I said, you know, if people don't want to work with me when it comes to that shit, fair enough. I said, but I'm also not gonna like hang around in a sense when like I'm being told one thing and then being told another. You know what I mean? And that's like where I've said it for like the 7th time. Communication.
Yeah, no,
Because it-
honestly, it's just the
Yeah,
repetitive thing we're gonna keep
yeah.
saying here. Is like
yeah.
the reason I brought like you guys into this is because I know that Angela, I didn't really know you that well, but when we spoke the first time I came into AU, we had like a really good conversation. We talked about PNT. David, I've known you for a while. I haven't really seen you in like the PNT aspect, but you talk a lot and I hear good feedback from trainees. And Ash, you've been like actively trying to help me as I've been going along. Like you guys have all spoke to me. We cross time zones, we see each other, we can do that. What we didn't have before was like people crossing time zones. AU never crossed, never went to EU, never went to NA. But what happened was EU would go into NA, we would all mix up. But then if we went into AU, it felt like a whole different scene. It felt like something we couldn't
Yep.
control.
Yeah.
It felt like
Yeah.
something we didn't belong in.
And that's
And
like
I
the
don't think
thing.
it's anything to do with them. I just think it's I think it's just I guess culture difference. Like it's different in PD too. Everything about it is just different. Um,
Oh,
and
fuck it, I'll say it. People just need to get over themselves, realistically. I'm gonna be honest. Like, people need to stop having all these opinions about shifts that they don't work and actually get to know the people that work those shifts when they come around, you know what I mean? Like,
well, that
if
being
I saw
said, again, I get along with people in AU,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
I
of course.
do, but I just don't think like when I bring my methods into say AU, EU, NA, like I think my biggest issue is I'm very NA based. When I do things, it's based on NA. But that's not even my time zone. I'm straight up EU. But
Nope,
it's
I
because all
know.
the people I talk to is NA. But when I brought it into EU, I got a lot of I got a lot of pushback. It was very awkward
Yeah.
because a lot of people didn't like how I spoke, and I think a lot of people took me more serious than what I actually was. I'm not serious until I have to be, right?
That's the same with me, right? Like, I will fuck around and be a little chaos gremlin here when I can be, but as soon as I'm FTRing someone or as soon as that call comes in, like, that's different. You know what I mean? And like, everybody knows that. They're like, there is a little piece of shit, but he's a fun piece of shit in a good way. You know what I mean? Like,
Can I
Yeah.
distract, interrupt, and interject before more calls start coming in?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I've got something I've found and worked up, but wanted to check with y'all that have actually had to treat this in the field more and might have more practical hands-on experience. Right now, for panic attacks or mental breakdowns, slowly approach the patients, maintain a respectful distance. They may be in state of crisis. Help them ground themselves, speak calmly and slowly, have them breathe in for a count of 3, out for a count of 5, have them find things to focus on, 3 things 3 times over, objects in the area, moving their body parts, think of food items, animals, etc., trying to get them distracted from the crisis.
That's exactly what I just trained a trainee
Yeah.
like 2 hours
Yeah.
ago, 3 hours ago.
And a lot of what I did, granted this is going to be a different scenario because it was post-sanguine, was reminding them where they were if they were dissociating,
Yep, what's up,
that
Pam?
they were safe and who I was.
I remember the Littleman day. Do you remember at the golf course, Veronica? When I was dealing with the Littlemans, but I had 3 different people dealing with 3 different forms of PTSD.
Yes.
Like we're gonna go.
And I had like
Lunatic.
and I had 15 Littlemans dying in front of me. And I was like burying the bodies in the pond.
You know, those skeletons are probably still in the pond.
Yeah.
We technically reported those deaths. We just didn't legally bury the bodies. We put them in the pond.
Yeah, that was a whole bunch of it. That was a fucked up day.
We
I'm not
technically committed a felony. or 5 that day.
We buried so many people.
We committed felonies that day.
So if a patient's disassociating, it can be helpful to remind them where they are, when they are, and who you are. Let the patient know that they're safe and you're here to help them.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is don't touch.
Yeah, don't
Don't
touch them
touch.
and make sure that
No
you
touch.
yourself. Yeah, don't touch them. And make sure that you yourself is staying calm as well during this. Like, don't panic
touch,
because they're panicking.
Yeah, don't touch unless they give you an indication. You know, like if you
Yeah.
put your hand out and they grab your hand, that's them. It's them. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
interacting with you. and
Initiating
it's-
the contact, yeah.
Yeah,
Or
like,
like you
I've
could. I've texted people in that situation. I've been like, "Hey, am I okay to give you a hug?" And then they'll nod or something.
Yes, that's actually, so those of you that remember Logan, that's what I would do. And actually I was able to really do a lot of things that other people couldn't. When Logan was basically having, you know, they didn't know where they were dissociating, you know.
Logan always said that me and you could do more than most people with them.
Yeah. So, but I still try to be careful, and I would text them a lot of like, "Hey, is this okay? Do you want me to sit here with you? Can I give you a hug? Can I carefully pull your hand away if you're like fighting their hands?" David, what are you
doing?
Nothing, don't worry about it.
You're so odd.
You're so weird.
I was just handing him, like, why are you looking at me like that?
Why are you why are you being so
What?
So yeah,
weird?
it's don't
Standing next to
touch
my
and
favorite
also
comedian.
don't freak out. You can't help somebody if you're freaking out because they're
True.
freaking out or dissociating or anything like that. You can't help anybody if you're freaking out,
I was
basically.
just sitting here reminiscing about my dead friend, and then David backs up
No.
between my legs.
What the hell?
What it look like?
That's literally what. Oh God, David.
Time to
David,
find out I was just standing here reminiscing about my dead friend. ... Happy Lee.
Oh man. But I guess I only brought up Logan because that's really my only
Yeah.
experience with
Yeah.
this sort of thing. That's where I learned a lot of those little what not to do type things. But like has already been said to it, it depends on the person. If they're reaching out like to you, then that's a sign of, they want that touch. Texting them could help, or even just verbally asking if they're able to like, hear and comprehend what you're saying. They could just nod.
Veronica told me that if she had a knife, she would have stabbed me.
It's true.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing about that.
Well,
Yeah.
because
Yeah, but you deserved it.
here's the thing.
David.
With my dissociative episodes, usually, if I feel like if I'm in an episode where I was being harmed, my instinct is going to be to kill.
Fair.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm already feeling like we made progress, even though we only
It was
talked
a
about
good
random
talk.
things and we
It's a
didn't
good
really have an
meeting.
agenda or anything. But
Yeah,
it was just.
I'm excited because there's like a bunch of people that are excited.
I
I'm
know.
very excited. I do have
I'm
one thing to bring
excited.
up though before we officially end this.
Oh, she's literally leaving us for PD. She's just gonna say it
Oh my
now.
god.
Me?
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Nah, y'all are
We
stuck
just-
with me. You're giving me more responsibility. You're stuck with me. Definitely
I
not
told
losing
him
me to
about
PD.
my interview with the
But what I was gonna
lawyers.
bring up with us having some FTIs, just guys, a couple questions. Should we also have access to make changes to the roster if necessary, and should we have access to any of the interview application stuff if we were to hire some more
thought about that.
people?
Yeah, I think that's a them
So,
question, but
for
they
the
should.
roster,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yes, that's why I was mainly asking.
Yeah.
So for hiring, it's still gonna be at the discretion of command and P&T lead, who gets hired.
Oh yeah.
We're not doing instant hires for the foreseeable future because we need time to sit down and actually talk about people. Instant hires were great when we were hurting for medics. But we're not in that time period anymore, so we can be a little bit more, choosy?
Picky.
Picky?
Selective.
Yeah,
We
honestly,
haven't
I
really
have.
rejected anybody yet. Like, after an
my
interview.
God.
No, we haven't.
From applications, we absolutely have, but from interviews, we haven't. So.
I understand.
I have
but
someone I
no.
want to recommend.
With the roster, should I just send in a request to be able to edit it?
Veronica, you should be able to give him
Yeah.
access, right?
Yes. Just send me your, like, email. I'll get it sorted tomorrow. I'm too cooked to do it tonight.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up now since we were having this meeting because
In an hour, I will have been awake for 24 hours. So
Don't
Oh
just
my! Oh no,
don't
you need
don't-
to rest.
yeah, don't just request access because that'll go somewhere that we don't have
Yeah,
access to. I'm pretty sure, but just send
Yeah.
one of us the
The email or whatever.
email.
What I would recommend is something that we always struggled with is when you're making changes to the roster or like when you're granting people solo or you think people are ready, we need to see that going into the channels too. Like if you're gonna make an
Yeah.
edit, just let us know you're gonna do an edit. Like say, hey, I'm just gonna change someone to this, just so that we
Hey, I
know
saw
who's
create
doing
this
what.
person.
Yeah. I'm gonna send you my email now just because I will forget.
I also did.
So
I
yeah.
sent to,
And you guys, if you have anyone to recommend, always feel free to recommend them too, because your opinions are gonna be above like, I wouldn't say other medics, but like above like random people coming up to me in the street and being like, "Hey, you should hire this person." Because I
Yeah, I
had
get
that
you.
yesterday or the day before, and I was like, you know what? We probably will, but not because you said that. Because
Just hire Charlotte.
well, it was Dante.
Yeah. He asked me
So, yeah.
yesterday, he was like, can I put you as a reference? Is that going to be like a conflict of interest? I'm like, Dante, I'm probably the best fucking reference you can get.
Yeah, Leah was like, could I be a reference for him? And I was like, you should be, you know, there's no problem with that. But at the same time, he's probably got some of the best references in the EMS.
I need to go 42 before I
go 42,
get
pussy.
started. Yeah, if I have your permission, Miss Spade, to go
Kenzie,
42.
I've given him permission to hang out with you.
My real wife, by the way, just want to point this
I
out.
love how everybody that says she's not real isn't here.
I know. You know how, like, we make the effort to come around at this time, and all the people that say this isn't real said, "You're not going to be around today. Sorry, boss." It's like, you motherfucker. They choose not to believe. They choose.
Y'all have a
In
good
a
one.
bit, guys.
Alright, see you later, NFPD guy. Bye.
Okay, if people also something, if people ask to be FTIs or like say things about it, make sure you take note of everything. Okay, like if
Right.
people have bad attitudes towards it, take note of that. Because we want to know that it's gonna be a there's not gonna be bad vibe towards it. I don't want that. And I know like some people do want it, and like with time they'll probably get it, but it's a process at the moment. Because if you think about it like this, before we couldn't really promote people because we already had the people in the position. But now we have like a fresh start. We can just ease people into it, and more people get the opportunity to do something different. It doesn't have to be the same people. It can be, but you're giving someone else the opportunity to do that now.
I agree. I agree completely. It's gonna be a little awkward. I feel like, at least like for me, because I might be experiencing a little bit of imposter syndrome right now, and getting the vibe that people are taking it personally. If they weren't asked to be FTIs.
No. It's happening.
Yeah. It's just like.
Tim
it's gonna
asked
be a
me about it
little-
earlier. Tim said,
yeah.
"Why wasn't he an FTI?" And you know what? I
Thank
told him
you.
the truth, and he was like, "You know what? Fair." Oh, he said he's gonna spam me today. Fuck.
I think
He
the
said
key
he's gonna spam
thing
message me.
that I want people to take away is that we're slow rolling a lot of things because we want to make sure the foundation is there before we flood it. Because if you flood a foundation that hasn't been built up, the foundation's destined to crack and fall apart.
Mhm.
It's the same reason why we don't have paramedics and lieutenants right now, because we want to make sure that the people that we bump into paramedic and lieutenant are ready for that position and ready for that role.
Yeah, and it's just harder to take stuff away.
That's true.
Like, put someone in that position, and then like, man, I really don't like that they're in that position, and it's just so much harder to be like, okay, you don't have that anymore.
That's what I was saying earlier. Is I'd like to see people act like that position before they get it. Like, obviously, don't overstep too far, but I'd like to see them like putting in initiative to them positions, and that's what's gonna get them in, right? I don't want somebody just asking me like, "Hey, I want to be an FTI. Can I be an FTI?" I want to see
I
you
was
say,
an FTI 5 years ago. I want to be an FTI again. Why am I not an FTI again? Oh my god, Charlotte, why am I not an FTI again?
Yeah, I've had that. I'm not gonna lie already, but what I want to see is
deja vu.
Yeah, what I'm expecting to see people do is say, "Hey, I've been doing this with trainees, this, and this. Do you grant me permission to take like an extra trainee out or something like that? Like, am I good to do this? Ask questions. Be productive. You know."
And what I'm hoping to see when we get the other certs up and running, like water and CC, is that kind of the same initiative takes hold of like slowly building it out. Because especially like with water and stuff like that, it's seeing it fleshed out into its own little sub department. like
Well, that's what we
fully
tried to do,
realized.
remember?
Yeah, but it was hard because we were already, years into the department.
Yeah, honestly, I wish I'd have got it sooner because I think I could have done so much more with that. I
So-
feel like there was
But now's
so
the
much more.
chance, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
instead of looking back on like, oh, I could have done so much more
What's
with
that,
this if
David?
this happened differently. We have that chance now to do those
Mm-hmm.
things differently, and we actually, time has passed. It's been 5 years, right? Things are different.
Yeah, I got you.
But we
just-
have that chance now to
I'll be
fix
right down.
some of those differences.
We need to
And-
prioritize the people with passion.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if Ayub actually ever had passion for the water department or if he just headed it to head it.
Really?
Like, did he?
People don't have passion for water.
Because
I didn't, but then the moment I got the lead, I was like, you know what? I could do this, this,
here's
this,
the
this, and
thing.
this.
I always got the vibe that he just wasn't that into it.
Wait, who?
He
Who
liked
is this?
having the lifeguard vehicle. That was
Yeah,
it.
I liked having the
I like the
vehicles.
vehicle, yeah. Which
And-
That's 'cause you
I'm
could be
kind of glad
different.
we don't have those things right now. I'm glad we have what we have because then that is really going to show who's
I wanna-
actually passionate.
I want to find out
and-
if we have a proper livery for the boat that we just don't know how to get. Because I've tried telling the fella I want the EMS boat or I want the medical boat, but he just gives me the black boat.
Is there a way to make the anchor actually go down?
No.
Okay, because I couldn't figure that one out the other day
Yeah,
either.
because here's the thing. I was on a team in Mesa earlier this week, and it looks like
Hello?
PD has their proper, PD livery boat.
Yeah, they pulled theirs out of a cruiser
I'm
yesterday
Maverick.
on that
This is-
call up on Cassidy Trail with the
Interesting.
with
Maybe you
the
should talk to
person in the car.
Yeah. So
maybe talk to
I...
PD and see like.
Well, so the way it works is you tell the fella, I want vehicle number 0, and then you're supposed to tell him what the livery is. But when you try EMS or medical, we get nothing. So I don't know if there's an
Might it be like
ID.
lifeguard or fire?
What if
or
it's like
something.
LSMC since that's our
Yeah.
department?
Ooh,
Maybe.
True.
I don't want to science anything right now because we can't get the boats to go away.
Yeah.
I wanted to science so bad, but we can't get them to go away.
Well, you know what? I actually appreciate that you guys came to this, and I appreciate that
Yeah,
everybody kind of
I'm-
made an effort to be here.
Although I will say, I wouldn't say I've been awake for a straight 24 hours because I did take a nap as straight through as it was because I had alarms every 15 minutes. But I have been awake longer than I should be.
Yeah, I kind of want to do more of like I'm not saying like every week or anything crazy like that, but I want more of this. And
You
I
get me
want
for 4 days in this time zone next week.
and then
Hell yeah.
I want more of this, and I also want to maybe do like P&T meetings a little bit more often, like
Can-
full
Yes.
all FTOs, everyone.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
like,
Can you guys try do this with I want conversations like this with trainees and FTOs. So like when I'm not around, like if say NA, there's a bunch of trainees, a bunch of FTOs, get the trainees out here, sit and have a conversation, get a feeler of how they are and like what's going on. You know, all of you guys are approved to take more than I would say free, but I would say take free, but don't
I'm
do
not
it if it's too
approved to
much.
take 3.
No, you don't have to. You're approved. You
I-
don't have to do
I'd
it.
have problems
No, I'm
remembering
not
the
approved
names
to
of
take
3 of
three.
them if I
Oh,
had 3 of them at once. I
honestly,
think 2's probably my
Just call them
limit.
idiots. Just call them idiots. That's what I do.
I'm not
And
gonna
that-
call them idiots.
I call
I
one
can't
the
do it.
anal bead guy, and one oh,
Oh God.
what's the other ones? Oh, the Tim has good names like pretty makeup girl and things like that for people.
No, he just calls Saf makeup.
I call Jenny the tall one. And I would say, get the fuck down. I made a kneel for me on the first session.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
feel
God.
like that stuff like kind of
Yeah.
help. It's like one of those like funny things that probably helps them kind of.
Honestly, one of my favorite
feel at
things is we have
home.
this really nervous trainee called David. He is not nervous with me at all. He's like the funniest trainee out there, and I really need people to take him out because I want him to get solo, and I think he can soon. But
Who's
What
this?
hours
Is it
does
David
he?
Johnson?
David something. He's EU. Yeah, David Johnson. He
Early or
can come-
later?
I don't remember. It's on that sheet that Kiki posted. I usually take him out around Storm, but I see him reaching out like 2-3 hours before Storm. he's a very nervous guy, but at the same time, like he's got so much. He's so fun. The other day I did emo day, and I took a whole bunch of trainees out and got everybody, like even V, dressed up as an emo. We all had black hair. We all walked around saying how depressed we were. It was great.
I mean, I was actually depressed. I forget what was going on the day that I was depressed.
Yeah,
Oh,
same.
that was the day that we had sequential transmission in the ambulances for some reason.
Oh yeah, and
So
everybody kept
terrible.
complaining about it, so I kept screaming at them.
It made
Now
it easier to drive in the hills.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it
It's
did.
not much of a difference.
No.
You
Angela,
could
we're not
toggle
all as
easier
good as
between
you.
4th and 5th.
We're not all as good as you, Angela.
Okay,
shut up.
but you had to deal with it when you were trying to drive up a mountain and not fall off the edge of the mountain and look for a patient
Oh no,
on a mountain.
no! I'm not talking about mountains. I'm talking about the actual like Vinewood Hills, the paved streets. It made it so much
Oh.
easier to maintain the toggle, like where the gear was.
Oh.
I didn't have to take one on a mountain that day. That would have sucked.
I
drove
gotta
one
go
up
do something
Chiliad.
soon, but
I was with
Oh.
them. It was actually fine.
It was science,
It
just
was
because
science.
I've heard so many people say we should have a manual transmission ambulance so that we can do mountain calls. And the whole time I'm like, that's not gonna help. Everyone's gonna hate it. And so I took it and I hated it. And I think everyone else would too.
I've been telling everyone, we have one medic who can do mountain rescues.
apparently
Well,
Emily's
David-
really good at them.
I want to be the second
and
medic.
David was saying that he will like drive in the hills and mountains and stuff. So.
Yes.
Seems like I'm probably the only
Really-
person that's like practiced taking the ambulance down the crack of Gilead right now,
Yeah.
but I can
I
teach people that
really-
easy enough.
I really wish we had some more ambos because I really do want to have an hour or two with you, Happy, of me driving and just learning that because I want to get better about that. Like be better at
Yeah.
driving in the mountains and.
I will say what I like about
just-
these ambos is there is a bit. I feel like we can control them a bit more than the old ones.
Yeah, a little bit. They're very top
Yeah.
heavy, is from what I've
They're
noticed.
top heavy, but they've got more oomph and they're more maneuverable. It's
But
better.
also, I need to start heading to bed.
I'm
So
tired.
I will see you guys
Are
tomorrow.
we talking about
Yeah, see you
anything
guys
else?
tomorrow. No, we're good. We're good.
Ash, you're scaring me.
Sorry, I was
I don't know
so
what's gonna
late to the
happen.
meeting.
Going for a
Fine.
taxi.
No! No, my God! Don't do that.
I was trying to
Look.
grab you out of a wall, and my
No.
eyes were still out there.
Oh.
You just use.
Give me a warning.
Good night. I love you guys.
Good night, B. Happy. Do it.
Man. So that conversation went well. The FTI meeting went well. Veronica bounced from the beginning of the meeting to go have that talk with Lane. And then Veronica got, like, more bits about what happened. Because, like, she started with, like, the basics of she figured something happened when Finn called to talk to her about it. And to get more details. To which Veronica was like, this is what, this is what it was. And kind of was like, okay. I'm so cooked. I don't even remember what exactly she said. Because Benny was the original person she said something to, and it was more. She figured she was talking to friend Benny, not ADMC Benny. Invoicing some things, and even when she was talking to Finn, she was partially kind of treating it like friend Finn, not ADMC Finn. And for her, she's not used to having those distinctions. Because Veronica 5 years ago would never have entertained being friends with Finley Milton. Remember, she watched him fucking murder a guy. No, she thought it was justified murder, but even still, she watched him fucking murder a guy. I'm going because I hate these traffic lights. So a lot of this is Veronica kind of navigating these new friendships. She admitted to Lane that she feels like she doesn't have anyone she trusts fully and completely. Which is true. The only person she has ever fully trusted and never really hid anything from was Harvey. Because that was her person. She never really had a reason to hide things from him. And one of the things that would frustrate Harvey is Veronica would tell him things and he'd be like, why? Why did you tell me this? Because he knew, like, Veronica wasn't gonna want him to do anything about it, like, especially, like, when she was being targeted. Because she was kind of just like, it is what it is, Harvey. I don't know what you want. It is what it is. So I'm losing my train of thought because it is so late. And while yes, she trusts Kiki with almost everything. Wow, rude. There are certain things that she would not trust Kiki with. Like, yes, Kiki is her sister, but Veronica has kept things from sisters in the past. And Veronica finds herself in a very conflicting position right now, I think.
Good morning.
Good morning, Nana.
Hey, Erin?
No, it's Veronica.
I'm sorry. Hi, Veronica.
Hi, Nana.
Hi.
That's the first time she's been mistaken for Aaron. But I'm losing my train of thought because I've been awake for almost 24 hours. Smile. I did not intend to be up this late. I will say, she felt more comfortable talking to Lane than she felt comfortable talking to Irish. Lane kind of put her at ease with their conversation. Whereas when Finn brought her and Kiki to talk to Irish, Veronica very much so felt like she was in trouble. Like she had done something wrong because it was right after Shang had taken her chopping. So she felt like she was being called to the principal's office and like she had fucked up and done something wrong. So she hadn't been at ease in that conversation. But she felt very comfortable talking to Lane. Is there anything else I want to touch on about that? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I don't think there's really anything else I want to touch on about that conversation except Veronica doesn't know what to take from it, and she doesn't know how she feels fully about it. just that she feels some kind of way and she doesn't know what that is. So that being said, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna end stream and I'm gonna go to bed. We can recap on this again tomorrow, or not tomorrow, maybe later today. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to go to bed. Is there anyone streaming that I want to send you guys to? Hold on. Hold on. Let's see. I know who I can send you guys to. I can send you to Bumble. I can send you to Bumble. And I'm gonna go pass out now because I'm so heckin' tired.